Welcome everybody to the 0th episode, the prologue, the test, so to speak, of the new Phoenix Down Radio. My name is Klauss, Nightbringer, and we have with us today Tristan. Say hi, Tristan.
Hi.
We have Vox.
Hi guys.
And we have Sarah.
Ninal?
So welcome, thank you for joining us. We've got a couple people live watching us right now on Twitch TV, Phoenix Down Radio. Yeah, this is basically just a test. We're making sure that all of our equipment is working, that the sounds are good, that the game is live, and might as well go into video. There we are. And now everybody can be seen. Sorry, Sarah, your wave was not seen by people yet, but that's all right. We'll chalk it up to first-time nerves, I guess. So, Phoenix Down Radio. We named ourselves after our free company on Hyperion, Phoenix Down. Also, it's kind of a staple item in Final Fantasy franchise. Thought it was kind of a neat little name for us to go with. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So a little bit about us. Again, my name is Klauss. As far as the, I'm kind of a, I'm not like really a hardcore player, so to speak. I'm more kind of a mid-core. I am a part of a Savage Alexander progression static right now. Go us. Kind of just starting out with it, so one of those things. I do have a couple of classes to level 60. I've got my gatherers to 60. Those crafters I am still kind of working on. Everybody kind of loves the crafting and gathering, don't they?
It's a pain.
It really is, but it's something to do when we're not raiding.
Well, and I've heard that your static is looking for another off tank, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, we're kind of struggling in that aspect, but you know that's kind of how the game goes. Get a couple people in there, and they're just not willing to stick it out for everybody else, and it kind of hurts everybody.
And I mean, stuff happens in people's lives. I've not known a single static that didn't go through some kind of hiccup like that at some point.
The only problem that I'm really having with it is the fact that sometimes these replacements we're getting are leaving without saying anything, or they'll like agree to join up and help us out, but then they'll either won't show up the next time or decide to, oh, I'm not gonna play the game anymore, and then leave, and then we still see them later. That one really worked.
You gotta communicate a little bit. There's 7 other people there. They're actual people at computers, at desks, who are trying to have a good time too, and you don't have to do all the stuff for them, but at least be considerate of them, you know?
Yeah, people like us, you know, we're just kind of trying to play the game and enjoy it, and you know, when people don't, you know, live up to their end of the bargain, it's kind of a pain. So that's a little enough about me. Want the rest of you guys kind of introduce yourselves a little bit?
Okay, I'll go next. Well, hi guys, I'm Luna Vox. Everyone calls me Vox because that's what my original name was. Luna came in later.
We won't talk about
I'd
that.
say I'd probably. Well, we know what that's something that we do not speak of.
She was a Lalafell.
Hashtag potato race.
Hey,
Let's take time.
potato master race to you, sir.
Boil them, mash them,
But
stick them in a stew.
anyways,
Chop you up and
Yeah,
serve
you
you
know
with
what?
battered fish?
anyways, I am a casual to mid-core range player. I don't know, like somewhere in between there. I really enjoy doing unsynced things. So like Garuda X, running Satasha by yourself, anything like that. It kind of feels like a big old FU to every single boss in the game.
Shiva Pony
And
Farm.
I like being horribly overpowered, right? Horribly overpowered. Because I'm the goddamn warrior of light.
There is something deeply satisfying about going back to something that gave you a trouble and having it just be an absolute curb stop battle.
Oh yes, there sure as hell is. As far as crafting, I'm not that big of a crafter. I can make low level things and some housing things. I am still trying to figure out what the heck to level next after my Dark Knight, either Black Mage or Bard.
Go
I'm
Black
not
Mage.
picking.
We have
Black
enough
mages are
bards.
so boring.
Bard is kind of similar in terms of the casting time thing too, though. It's a little weird.
I
Hashtag
know
Bow Mage.
I've played both an Archer and a Thaumaturge, but I can't decide.
It's
Thermagerd.
hard
Maybe
to
you guys
decide
can
what
help
to
with
level
that.
next. Yeah.
Maybe you guys can help with that.
Well, I'm Tristan. I'm kind of in a weird spot too right now because I'm trying to figure out what to level next. I started with a summoner because I came in late, and I switched to warrior because summoner was not a lot of fun. So I've been having a lot of fun tanking now. I mainly do a lot of crafting and gathering. It's kind of a fun little way to kill time, and it's not something that a lot of people do, so it's a fun little niche. And I've made quite a little chunk of change in the last couple of weeks with all the favor changes that have happened, so that's fun. Crafting and gathering are really boring though. There's not much to say.
Yeah, it's not really the most dynamic activity. If I watch someone else who's crafting or gathering, it's like, I guess that's all right, but it's really more of like solving a puzzle, and that's much less of a spectator sport there.
Yeah,
It really
that's why I
is.
can't get into it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of fun to watch as I have an emotional breakdown when I fail my 2-star craft and lose millions and millions of gil and materials.
That's like a rite of passage for crafters. You're a real crafter now.
Yeah, okay. Tell us about you.
All right, so I'm Sarah. I'm not sure what core to describe myself as. I'm never quite sure where the dividing lines on these things are. So one thing you can already tell is that I overthink pretty much everything.
Yeah, he does.
I do enjoy gathering. I do enjoy doing a bit of everything. Before Heaven's Word dropped, I did have all my classes at 50. These days, I mostly do gathering, crafting, mostly culinarian. I absolutely love cooking in real life. I do like exploring, and I'll do almost anything that gets me what I think are good looking clothes. Uh, I'm perfectly alright with attempting some of the really difficult endgame stuff and charging headlong into death as long as it's going to be kind of hilarious. And yeah, I tend to really like bows and guns, but ended up as a tank main somehow, which I'm still not entirely sure how that happened, but it's pretty fun.
Well, I keep asking if you want to switch to a bard main, and you can't make up your mind.
I can't. They're both fun. Can't I just be both? Can't I like fire axes out of my bow and then somehow have them bounce back and use them to parry things? I did not think this planned through before I started saying it a few seconds ago.
That's normal for the
That's what red
Corsair.
mages are gonna be. That's what red mages are gonna be, right?
What?
Yeah, definitely.
Firing axes from their bows? Interesting
Yeah,
concept.
Hey, they'll have end spells, so the axes will be on fire.
There you go.
We'll have to see on that one. But getting back to your good-looking clothes, isn't glamour the real end game, guys?
I would have to say.
Isn't that why we run all these things so we can make our characters look pretty?
Actually, for us lately, it's been houses.
Yeah.
Well, there's no housing available though. That's the problem.
But when there is,
you're ready to jump right on it.
Redecorate. We can redecorate the free company house at will as long as we don't tell anyone.
Everybody
and I mean,
flip
there's
out.
always individual rooms, right?
That's true. Fortunately, they can't redecorate
small.
this place, so.
We are currently in Klauss's personal house.
Yes, my little cottage. You know, my home away from home, away from the free company home.
I feel compelled to start firing flaming arrows or something.
Yeah, let's not go about that. I just cleaned the rug, so let's. Yeah, last person who did that, you know, they didn't end well.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about us. And as far as, you know, things going on in the game, we are in the middle of what's called the patch lull. Everybody's favorite part of the game when you're in the middle of, you know, working on your raids or getting your crafter built up and like, okay, now what do I do? We all know that 3.1 is around the corners. Hasn't been officially announced, but we're all speculating sometime mid-October, most likely, when we'll get new dungeon, new 24-man raid, and hopefully we'll get our new relic quest line starting at that point. But people
What
now
about the best part? New crafting recipes.
more crafting recipes, so we can get those
That's
pretty looking
right.
clothes again. Because
Exactly.
glamour is the end game, right?
I mean, honestly, we have eggs Benedict now. I don't know why we need anything else.
Now you're making me hungry, Sarah. Knock it off.
Right?
I'm gonna do that a lot.
All I have is
We'll
my
have a
Apkalu omelets on me, alright? I've done the breakfast for lunch thing a little bit too often lately, especially with raid going
Yeah.
on.
You want to know what I
It
have
is
on
always-
me? I only have apple juice.
Apple juice.
I have stuffed cabbage rolls and antelope stew and all kinds of things that I really need to throw in my retainers because they take up too much space.
I don't have anything actually in the way of finished meals, but an absurd amount of yak milk, eggs, meat. Ooh, got some fresh veggies there, some mushroom spices. Oh, I could totally whip something up.
Yeah, I
have
think
a Shiva card. Can I eat that?
it probably won't taste very good. Made out of some sort of animal vellum and some sort of ink, so probably not very tasty for you.
I think they
What
could
about this
manage
diamond
some.
dust?
Pretty sure they could manage some equivalent of cardboard.
There's probably some sort of mineral content in that, but still probably not very tasty.
But to get back to the lull, when we know what 3.1 is coming and we know what it's bringing, but we don't know what the item level is going to be on any of the gear. So is it going to be item level 200, 210, 220, 230? There's already been such a gap in everything that we've done. So is it going to be worth it to grind out now and then to keep going, or is this going to be a catch-up patch where we're going to have another 3 months of kind of stale progression?
Well, if we
Yeah,
use...
you never.
Go ahead.
You never. It's always feeling like, hey, you could spend the time to do all this stuff, get something that's going to be the good end game, but is that time actually going to be worth it? They've been pretty good about not obsoleting everything the instant the next patch comes out, which I know a lot of games tend to do that, but there's still always that concern.
History kind of tells us that every other patch is the catch-up patch. Whenever the new 24-man raid is introduced, that's usually going to be dropping something along the lines of gear that you can get from tomestones. So I mean, we're probably going to be looking at probably I-190 coming from that. As far as our relic weapon, I would have to venture to guess that's probably going to be 200 or 210. Again, this is just my guessing because I'm guessing it's going to be something.
No, it's going to be higher than that.
Well, it's going to be an upgradable thing, similar to what the old relic was, I bet. But I don't think it's going to start higher than what Alex Savage currently drops, which is 210.
Yeah. I think you're right, Klauss. I remember way back when Labyrinth of the Ancients first came out. At that time, the Tombstone gear was about 70, and the really hard, the Mythic Tombstones. Wow, that takes me back. And the Blinding Coil gear was 90, and then Crystal Tower was dropping 80 stuff. So kind of a nice mid bridge, and it was something that was supposed to be accessible to all players.
Yeah, and if we
And
go
what
back,
level was the relic?
the relic, the first relic was 70, and then the upgraded version was 80. Or was it 80 and 90? I don't remember that far back.
Hang on, I can find this.
You guys are old.
We are old, and I can still remember running this all the first time on Bard, so I just don't remember what the item level was. I know Darklight gear was level 70. I want to say that the initial weapon was 80, and then the upgraded version was 90 to match the myth gear.
Yeah, and one of our free company members is adding in that it was I-70 to I-90.
Yep. So if we compare that to now, we're sitting at I-90 to 210 for our top gear. At the Ravana weapon and the prototype Gordian gear, and then Esso and Savage gear, which are 200 and 210 respectively. So I would venture to guess that we're going to get 190 to 200 gear out of the Void Arc, the new 24-man raid, and then our relic weapon is going to start at either 200 or 210. And there'll be an upgrade shortly after it's released. Because people are going to have that thing after, what, a week? Less?
Oh, of course. They're going to grind it out
Yeah.
as quick as they can. We
There's
don't know if
always
it's
someone.
coming right in 3.1. It could also be coming in 3.15, they said, but I know we're all crossing our fingers to get it as soon as possible.
Because I want something else to run than that ugly looking bow that comes from Esoteric's tomes. God, that thing is horrible. I don't know what your guys' stats are like on your weapons. Give me back
It's-
crit debt.
Oh, you're talking about stats. I thought you were talking about appearance.
Well, it's also hideous to look at as well, which is why I
It-
glamored my Ravana bow back over it.
It does kind of fit in with the whole like bard singing entertainer type thing. Like, I mean, remember how people reacted to Artemis bow way back when?
Yeah, it's
Can
true.
you show us your bow there, Klaus?
Well, my bow right now, like I said, it's glamored back to the Ravana bow, so
I will
Maybe
totally
another
get
day.
you a glamour dispeller.
Oh. no. So we're gonna just sit with what we've got. Now I gotta
Fair
do this
enough.
again. Nope. Anyway, sorry for the little weird my HUD popping up there. So those are the kind of things we've got to look forward to. So, Fox, what kind of things are you doing right now as we're waiting for the next patch to be have more things announced and when we get it?
I have been grinding out ESO gear and then just leveling other classes. Like I haven't dabbled into hardly any of the new classes. Like I got a Dark Knight and that's all I've touched. As far as anything new goes. Other than that, I still trying to get frickin' Stone Skin.
Which
Gotta-
has been a process now for you for a while, hey?
Oh yeah.
You did hit 30
Very
though
heavy.
today, didn't you? Or last night,
I
did you?
did, and I got my unicorn.
Yay! So you're almost there.
Yay!
I unlocked
I got
Dragoon
2
today, so we
ponies
can
in a
do some
day.
dungeons.
Oh boy.
I learned Dark Dance. That's not that exciting. It's
So
not
Klaus,
even
you need a
dance.
level
I'm so
30
disappointed.
character.
I have 2 of them. I've got a number of things in the in the 30s and mid 30s. I haven't touched Dark or Astrologian. They're both still sitting at 30. My Machinist
now?
is sitting at about 34 or 35. I have Summoner and Scholar both
Like we
at
might need to
35.
use some Hawk later.
We'll have to see what's going on. I've got those red scripts to grind out too,
Oh, it
Those
just
are such
reset.
a pain.
Oh, do we want to get into
Fine.
how much fun crafting and gathering are at this point? We want to talk about, or we're kind of got that lull. Is it going to be worthwhile to work to grind all of that time to get your red script gear, only to maybe have 3.1 drop a new level of crafting and gathering gear that's just as good, if not slightly better, because it's meldable?
You know what? I'm pretty sure that it's not worth it. I have actually been selling everything that I can with my gathering and crafting scripts, and I have made about 10 million in the last couple days, which has been quite surprising.
Look at Tristan there playing the market and making all that money. I suppose
So
you
I'm
Yeah.
you want
gonna
that. Go ahead, Sarah.
I want a house.
I'm gonna make a counterpoint here. Hang on, am
We're
freaking
waiting.
adorable.
That's subject to your opinion, I
Dude.
guess.
I am like totally prepared for a lovely picnic in the forest. There's freaking morning glories and a cute little bird on my hat. If this isn't endgame, I don't know what is. I actually know what endgame is. Please do
So
not send
crafting-
angry letters.
So crafting is the end game only because it gets you glamour.
Exactly.
But-
So glamour is the true endgame.
Like, do you
Oh, we all know that
like
minions are
as soon as I
endgame.
feasibly have access to the stuff for that chef's outfit, I am going to be doing that night and day.
Well, and
Oh.
it's really funny because you can either buy a single piece of gear for 7 to 26 scripts, and you get 9 per week that resets on Tuesday. Sorry, these are script tokens, not scripts themselves. Or you can craft your own gear for 4 scripts and a bunch of gathering time.
Yeah, it is definitely not an activity for the impatient.
There's a lot of money going back and forth between the crafters and the gatherers right now, and that's where all the marketing's going. If you've got your gatherers up there, you can make a good chunk of money too. I think since Heaven's Word started, I've made close to 20 million. So I mean, yeah, the opportunity's out there, but here's the big question: what are we going to spend that money on? Until housing becomes available, which right now there's very few plots available. I mean, we're on a pretty heavily populated legacy server right now, and people are trying to sell their houses through Party Finder right now for millions and millions of gil. Plus, then you have to rebuy the house again to get it. You're just paying them to release the land and the house.
So actually, that's a good related question there. You're talking about the money goes back and forth between the crafters and the gatherers, but missing from that, you've got the people actually doing the fighting. Is there anything worth making for the actual battle classes?
That's a good question. If you're a tank, there are a few HQ 150 accessories that, if you meld them fully, are actually statistically slightly better than the comparable gear that you get from tomes dropping from the dungeons themselves. A lot of guys
But are they slightly better enough to be worth the expense?
They're really not that expensive. For the 150 jewelry, I outfitted myself in it. I think I gathered everything in about half an hour, and to throw a couple materia on there, it was pretty cheap.
Well, where it gets expensive is when you have to meld tons and tons of forbidden melds on it, and you get down to that 5th meld, and you're at 5% chance to get it to actually succeed. That's where the money sink is.
The real trick is that you need to have super retainers. You don't have one of those. Sarah and I both have one of these that we get to send out on really long missions.
And then it just comes back with scads and scads of material.
Brilliant. That's right. The super retainer being the airship.
That's right.
Which you used all of the free company's labor and resources to help you build, and are now taking over.
Mountains and mountains of coke.
Oh yeah, that's right. They've developed a very bad coke habit, guys. So be careful if you end up trying to build your own airship for your free company. You fly through coke. You don't want to know how many dead hookers we found too.
Hookers and blow everywhere.
Yeah, it's actually
there.
Rather
we had to
good
take down the portraits of all the leaders so they wouldn't see us in shame.
I don't know. I feel like Kane-sen would be cool with that. Does no one else believe this?
I think you're alone on that one.
Down. The Admiral would definitely get in and get dirty with you guys.
No, communing with the elements and stuff. That's totally code for getting high.
Yeah, only if it comes from nature. Now, coke is one of those other things out there, right?
So you're saying that she just want to go for the raw plant?
Maybe if they had some sort of catnip or something like that. I don't know what the Pajals use.
She's not a Mikote. That's racist.
Well, he did say Pajals, so.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they like the catnip too, or the what do they call it in this game?
Gala
catnip.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's something like that. That's code.
Those things are surprisingly adorable.
Surprisingly vicious.
I want the minions so bad.
Minions, the real end game.
Actually, yeah, this has come up a couple times, and I know there's that Lord of Verminion coming up.
Ah, yes.
Gotta build that army.
So speaking of that, how many minions do you have in your guys' armies so far?
Oh God.
Like 25.
I'm running about 78 these days.
I have 48.
You guys need to catch up. I'm sitting at 109 currently. And I still don't have any from the new dungeons, so we need to run those and get more minions.
I'd be
I'm
up
good
for
with
it.
that.
So,
I can get some more stuff for glamours.
I hear a lot of other podcasters are up at 120 now, so you better get good, Klauss.
I've heard that. I think Nell has mentioned that she's got over 120 now. So yeah, I need to catch up.
So how many are there in the game at this point?
I thought I saw there was over 140 different minions. So.
Hang on, looking this up now.
That's what the internet's for.
That's what I'm doing.
I need to get a computer terminal in my house here so you can look that up on the Eorzean Google.
Oh my god.
There's the new $1 million idea. We can come up with the Eorzean internet.
Well, that one guy on the 18th floor has a video game controller, so it's probably possible.
But that's outside of time and space, is it?
Well,
But
we
you know
can
what?
try-
If we have enough crystals and we wish hard enough,
if we really, really want it.
that's right, we can summon a controller as the next primal.
144.
So there's a gross of them, huh?
There is indeed a gross of minions.
Minions
Some of which are
gross.
gross.
Some of the minions are gross. Have you seen that mini mind flayer?
Or the mini Minfilia.
I don't think you needed to go there. We're not even sure if she's still alive. Come on. All right, so other things coming up with the game. God, that's a big minion. I never realized how big the chubby chocobo minion was.
He's my chubby baby.
I am worried that if he sits on your lap, it will injure you.
He is
Yes.
bigger than me.
Be careful.
Imagine if I was still a Lala.
He'd eat you.
He is. That's alarming.
Yeah, if you were still a Lala, he'd eat you.
Doesn't the text on the heavy hatchling suggest this would not be his first act of vicious carnivorism?
Let's see. Oh, that's scary. Let's see. It would be foolish to believe that the chocobo could achieve the size dining on greens alone, regardless of how many hundreds of bushels were devoured in a single sitting. Chicken bones found beneath the chick's bedding suggest he may have tasted his succulent cousins. Oh my god.
He's a cannibal.
Oh,
Isn't that adorable?
okay.
Can you please put him away?
Yeah, I'm gonna put him away.
Before he tries to eat Sarah over there.
I'm trying to find something else. There we go. There we go. We're safe.
I don't know. That
That's good.
Gubu's kind of eyeing Tristan now.
Well, that's understandable.
But they're vegetarian, so I think we're all right.
Hopefully.
All right, moving on.
Wait. What does it say? Luckily, the Seekins are not finicky eaters and will consume almost anything that cannot outrun them.
Oh, I guess
No.
I stand corrected.
If rumors are to be believed, this includes Lalafels.
See, this is one of the things that I love about this game. Even in the minion guide, you end up with little bits of lore, all sorts of little bits that just fill out the world and make it like no, this is a fun or possibly terrible place to live.
But hey, even
Everything can eat you.
if they eat
Pretty much.
Lalafels, they're still considered vegetarians, because they are potato people.
I guess.
All right, moving on. Final Fantasy XIV is going to be having a crossover event coming up with Final Fantasy Record Keeper. For those who might not be familiar with what Record Keeper is, it is a mobile game
My favorite game.
for Android and iOS, where you can relive many of the iconic Final Fantasy games across all the different series. And you can play as the different characters from those games. And Tristan, Sarah, myself, and a few other Free Company members are slightly addicted to the game at this point, wouldn't you say?
Some of us more than others.
Yeah, some of them use entire paychecks to roll to try and get relic weapons.
I think it was like half a paycheck in his case.
I'm pretty sure that one of our Free Company members has spent probably upwards of $500, maybe $600 on the game so far, and it's been out for about 6 months, right?
These are the people who make it possible for the rest of us to play for free.
That's right.
Yes, I'm fortunate to say I haven't actually put a dime into the game, but I play enough to get all the free mithril, the in-game currency, so I can get a few of these weapons, but RNGesus doesn't appear to like me, and I haven't gotten any of the actual items, such as Buster Sword or Lionheart or that funds.
Thank you for the answer.
The crossover event that's happening with Final Fantasy XIV is that they're going to have some of the dungeons, I guess, in there. including I think some of the primals, which I'm pretty excited for to get to fight them in sprite form. But Thancred and Y'shtola are both going to be playable characters.
That's going to be kind of an interesting piece. You know, getting Cloud and Sephiroth together to fight with Y'shtola against Ifrit, that could be kind of fun.
And apparently their special character unique relics are considered to be some of the better ones available. So
it's a win-win.
Not just for the sake of nostalgia, but because they are in and of themselves pretty awesome characters.
So if you don't play the game currently, you can check it out on the Play Store or on the iOS App Store. And if you like the game, like I said, it is free to play. Those microtransaction games that everybody loves. Like I said, I haven't paid a dime for it.
You should pay the
word of
$1.
warning.
Why should I have to pay the $1? I don't need to pay no $1.
One word of warning, whenever you do play it, you're going to start feeling nostalgic for pretty much whichever Final Fantasy game you happen to be working through at the time. I found myself missing 8 last night.
I have to say, I have never played it.
It's a lot of fun, but you also have small children at home keeping you busy, so...
Well, she's been keeping them busy, sending them on retainer ventures, though.
Duh, my Lalas are my children. Or, wait, my children are my Lalas. That are my retainers.
Fortunately, Aorza doesn't have any child labor laws, so we're okay there.
Yeah. And that's how the Carpenters Guild can make a profit.
All right. We kind of touched about it a little bit earlier, but we had talked a little bit about airships and being glorified retainers. Bear and Tristan are a couple of our engineers in our free company. They're in charge of 2 of the 3 ships that we have. Why don't you guys go into a little bit about what happens when you build an airship and send it out?
This is all on you, Sarah. This has been your baby.
Fair enough. I wasn't quite sure who should take the lead here, so it's part of the company crafting. Those of you with the free company, who have forked out the guild, might notice that wonderful company workshop you can get to from the private chambers door. It's intended to be a big collaborative thing. Projects usually have multiple stages, which require large amounts of materials, and each person is limited to how many submissions they can make within a given period. So it's supposed to be several people working together to submit items to build some large item, like a piece of an airship or a facade for a house, other fun stuff like that.
It went pretty well at the first little bit for us, where everyone was really excited to contribute to these airships. And then everyone kind of got bored of it because there was no immediate return. And I mean, it's hard to see when the airships are just out exploring and trying to unlock more airships and better areas to search. But
you have
now we just kind of crack the whip and we bribe people to put more coke in the free company chest.
Well, you have to admit that it was very slow.
Coke.
It was very slow to get started, though. I mean, the first week or two, I mean, we weren't bringing back hardly anything that would have been useful for expanding our fleet.
That's right.
Yeah. And, I mean, it even has a cute little scene that shows when you launch the ship, but that's only visible to the person launching it. So I can't even do the whole, hey, look at our cute little airship going off into the wild blue yonder, like try to get a roleplay aspect going from it. It's definitely something that a smaller number of people get to really enjoy a lot of the fun from it. That said, the stuff that you bring back, as we alluded to, there's large amounts of materia, crafting items for housing furnishings. If we were at our free company house, you would be able to see a very adorable Mog chandelier. And it's unclear how it may be tying into the upcoming airship raid content. Pretty much just speculation at that point, but I've wondered if it's going to be something where having company airships is going to provide easier access or other benefits or something else like that.
Well,
that's definitely something we could get into next episode for sure when we have a little more time.
I mean, yeah, because it hasn't been specifically stated, but it sounds like those who have the airships will be able to access the content from there. Others will be able to do it from the airship landing in Ishgard. But like I said, that's something we're waiting to hear a little bit more about. And like I said, we'll discuss it probably a little bit more in depth on our premiere episode, which is coming up this Saturday at 9:30 Eastern Time in the evening, 6:30 Pacific Time for those on the West Coast. And if you're in between, well, you can figure out where it's at that point. Like I said, we're going to be broadcasting every other Saturday at that point right here on twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio. Do plan on putting out a podcast with this as well of the audio, and I'll be putting that out on iTunes as well as Stitcher and any other sources find. I'll probably also provide a direct download link to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Phoenix Down Radio. So with that, this was a pretty decent test, I think. We got to kind of bullshit a little bit, make sure that we can get the audio settings working on this end. We got the video working, and we'll see how the recording goes on this. I will try and post the video out on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Phoenix Down Radio, and we'll see how everything worked on that. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about before we go ahead and close out the show?
Oh, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it quite thoroughly.
As did I.
Yeah, no, this was pretty good.
So, guys who have been watching the show, we thank you very much for coming into our preview show, our test show. Thank you to everybody who's followed us today. We've gotten 3 followers during the show. We want to thank all of you and everybody else who's watching. If you have any questions, comments, you can email us, phoenixdownradio@gmail.com. We are available on Twitter at PHXDN I tried using Phoenix Down Radio for that, but it was one letter too long, so I shortened it up to the same shortening that we use for our free company tag in game. That's at PHXDN Radio. Again, we're available when we stream live every other Saturday for the show here at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio. We also stream raid nights generally every Tuesday through Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central. When my raid group is all together, which the last couple of weeks hasn't been, so that's kind of been a frustrating piece. But we're also going to try and stream other content as well. There.
Yeah, just to be clear, that is mostly Klauss's raid group. I don't think... Do any of the rest of us raid at the moment?
Not
I don't
at
really
the
think
moment,
anyone
no.
Klauss is the only one with the formal static, yeah.
But like I said, when we're not raiding, or if there's something else going on, like last night to fill in time, we all decided to do a Shiva farm party. So we got ponies for myself and Sayer and Vox. So Vox got her. Yeah, and Tristan did help for once. That was amazing. I was actually shocked and awed. So, but we got
and I got
Vox.
some pretty weapons.
Yep, Sayer got lots of weapons. I desynthed everything that I got, and Vox got her very first pony.
Yay!
So congrats to Vox. I got my final pony, and I was able to go get Kieran afterwards. So now I just need to get that stupid nightmare. So I'm thinking down the road we'll have to start farming the first 3 primals and get a bunch of those nightmare whistles.
I'm good with that.
So would you be desynthing the weapons so I could make like some primal thingies with the ores? Because that would be pretty great.
Well, I do have a few of those available, so I mean, if you can always look into some of those for glamour purposes, because they're not very good at endgame anymore.
Well, yeah.
But they look kind of cool.
Like librarian and all, I need to collect all the books, right? That's how this works?
I thought that was just completionism on your part.
It could be both.
All right, anything else you guys wanted to discuss before we go ahead and close out today?
No, thanks again for everyone stopping by.
This was really fun.
Definitely.
Like this
Thanks
show.
to everyone who followed us today, and I hope we can see you guys next time on Saturday.
Yep, like I said, this was more of a unscripted, for the most part, off-the-cuff test. We're hoping that our first episode goes a little bit smoother and a little bit more cleanly. But again, we had fun. Thanks again for checking us out. Come see us on Saturday night, and you guys have yourself a wonderful evening.
Phoenix Down Radio is a production of Phoenix Down Radio and Illusion Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Opening and closing music tracks of this episode are the copyright of Square Enix. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of Phoenix Down Radio and its hosts and do not reflect the views of Square Enix.